Here is my post-game reaction to the Raiders game last night. It was very late. I'm on the East Coast, hence my name. And it was an awful game, I thought. Total awful game. But I understand why part of it was awful, was so many players who are starters weren't playing. Derek Carr, Cleo Mack, Amari Cooper. No, just think back when those guys weren't on the team. Just how good the Raiders were then. Yeah, real good. And of course, I watched it on Gamecast or whatever you call it, and I didn't see any of the Marshawn Lynch fiasco eating a banana on a cooler. Now this guy is an idiot. You know why he's an idiot? He wants to do all this good for the world. And all he does is create controversy. Now some people might find him entertaining, but guess what? If you're trying to make more money, if that is his goal, to make more money, and he does have an incentive-laden contract, it would be better for him to tone it down. It would be better if he didn't grab his crotch in the end zone or do anything like that. You know why? Because maybe then advertisers would realize we could market him, and we'll market our product using him rather. We can do lots of things provided he cleans up his act a bit. And the best way to alienate a bunch of people, football fans, is to start all this political BS. Now, I love politics. I argue politics all the time. But look, football fans, when someone's going to go watch a football fan, they don't want to see any of that crap. They don't want to see anything. Many of them work jobs, I was going to say 9 to 5, but probably other type of hours. Sometimes very long hours. And on the weekend, they just want to watch a football game. They want to drink some beers, cook up some barbecue, and they want to watch a football game and escape. That is the thing. Escape. You're an entertainer. That's what you are. You're not a politician. You're entitled to your opinion, even though you're a jackass for having such an opinion. It's not the right place. And like I said, if he's trying to do all this good in the world, hang around with Derek Carr and donate all their contract to the betterment of society, or the betterment of mankind, it would be better to maybe get a publicist, or maybe a speech therapist. But it would be better not to do those things, because you just alienate people. And you better clue into the fact that the NFL realizes they screwed up last year by alienating some things. They're bringing back Hank Williams Jr. for Monday Night Football. Now, I don't know what station Monday Night Football is anymore, but it used to be ABC. But whatever. Hank Williams Jr. was used on there for a lot of years, and he said some things about Obama. and they pulled the plug on him. Meanwhile, the NFL allows all these political activists to go on the highest stage during the Super Bowl, and right before the national anthem, and it would help. And I said this before, if the stupid television stations were told by the NFL, which apparently they're not going to, look, do not show them nailing or doing their protest. It's not a story. If you do it, if you continue to do it, work that into the language of their contracts. If you continue to do that, we're going to pull the plug on you, and we're going to get another network. Simple as that. It's a breach of contract. Consider it a breach of contract now. And they're not going to do that, apparently, They could force the issue. They could convince television to not film it. They did that back in the it was the early 80s, I believe. In baseball, it's happened since then, but I just remember in baseball it was just outrageous then, or whatever, just kind of new, I guess. Drunks would jump on the field, and there was always this blonde, big bosom woman that would jump on the field, having to, go up to the pitches and kiss them on the mound, do all this stuff, and sometimes they run on the field naked, and sometimes there was extracurricular activity with the football players. In that situation, they would hit the person, but they stopped filming it, and it definitely cut down. You are giving them a platform, is what you're doing. And to make it go away, stop talking about it. That's all I have to say, basically, about Marshawn Lynch. Now, the game, it was sloppy. It seemed like a replay of last year's game, if you remember it, versus the Cardinals. Same announcers, same speech patterns, same blah blah blah, and same referees, I think, because the referees were that fumble or double fumble. I don't think he made a football move when he got hit and fumbled the ball. And I believe Connor Cook, after he stripped them, I believe his knee wasn't down yet. It was coming out, and this was a hometown broadcast, blah blah blah. And I remember the guy that sounds like Jesse Ventura, can't remember his name, kept on saying, Marshawn Lynch, that's a bad man. That's a bad man. I had no idea what he was talking about. I had no idea he was eating a banana during the national anthem. But it looked just not a good game. Now, I understand there were certain people not playing, and like I said, last time they weren't really playing. The Raiders sucked real bad. And that's how it looks. And why weren't the Raiders running the ball better? And, why couldn't they do this and that? And, it is preseason and everything. But here's the truth. Derek Carr is the Raiders. He's their best running back. He's their best wide receiver. He's their best everything. You know why? Because teams now respect him. When he lines up, teams respect his arm so much they cannot line up the box like they were doing last night and just come in there and hit the running back. Although Washington, I gotta say, Washington looked pretty good. when they line up in that in the one running back type of thing, and you're going to see that a lot this year. They're not going to really know which way the Raiders are going to go, and Derek Carr is going to change the call at the line, and they have to worry about Amari Cooper. I guess Crabtree, if he comes back to the way he was. And they also have to worry about another guy. I didn't think too much about this guy until I saw him after he started running. Cordell Patterson. I mean, a lot of people wanted them to get Megatron or whatever. And this guy is a Megatron in the making himself. He could create some severe mismatches if Cooper and Crabtree are on the field at the same time with Marshawn Lynch, providing he can still play. We have not seen that yet. I was hoping they were going to play Carr because he hasn't played since he broke his leg. But he looked pretty explosive. So did Mickens. And Kyle Joseph was hitting pretty hard. I'm surprised he didn't call for a penalty. EJ Manuel, I don't go by stats. I go by his motion. He just looks awkward. But at the same time, Connor Cook, he looks very fluid, very much a quarterback. But he couldn't hit the side of a barn. He had awful accuracy last night. I don't know if he was nervous or he just had awful accuracy. He was throwing the ball very hard though. He has increased his arm strength, definitely. And the defense had some moments, and you could see some depth working out. Developing rather. But without Derek Carr, not too much can come about. It's really Derek Carr's team. And we really couldn't see the effect of Vanderdos when with Mack and Irvin at the same time because they didn't play. He looked like he was involved. He was, getting there, but I think it's going to be a little different. And Sean Smith might be on the bench. He might be on special teams. They can't cut him because it would be $9 million in dead cap. But he was getting burned, and like a lot of Raider fans concerned about this Conley and Manafanu not showing up. I mean, this is game time. This is preparing for the season, and they need to stop playing. We need to start seeing if they're better than Sean Smith, or we're gonna have a repeat of last year. I mean, that's really the thing I didn't like about the game. Couldn't see all the possibilities. The possibilities weren't there. I understand what Rio was saying about all the losses on special teams, but I figured Obi-Wan Raider was going to be a special team star. And even said that, so he might be echoing what the coaches are telling him and stuff, but I could see him being a special teams star. Oh, and immediately the new rule about lining up over the center that the Raiders got hit on the first time on I don't know if it was an extra point. I think it was an extra point. That was just to announce to the Raiders, hey, you got a new penalty to call on you this year. And I hope the Raider players understand that you are going to get a lot of penalties called on you that aren't going to be called on teams like the Patriots. That's just how it is. You are going to have to kick the other team's ass, or you will not win. Simple as that. But I just want to see it all come together. I want to see if there's any improvement on defense. Because we haven't seen it yet. It's just all looks good on paper, supposedly, But the one thing about injuries is the Raiders not going to talk about them. I didn't understand that one, too. John Crockett. Never even heard of him. And what happened to Hood? I don't recall anyone asking Rio. Of course, he's been trained in the Raider way of deception as far as injury reports go. I mean, the Raiders just, they were notorious. Just decades, just pretty much lying about the extent of an injury. That was during the Al Davis paranoid period. I can't pronounce the guy's name, but he really leaped up in the end zone. Lani? I don't know. But it's the guys like that are gonna make the roster on special teams. I don't know what happened with Janikowski. I just remember that one. But Trevecki or whatever is always being called in every year. He seems to come in every year. He looked pretty solid. I mean, I don't remember on a kickoff what he did, but if he did a kickoff, I don't remember. But because the Raiders didn't score that much. But he looked smooth on the extra point. I mean, the touchdown. I mean, the field goal. But it's just preseason. Signing out.